All right, Nick, let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. Big offseason for the Dolphins. There's a couple question marks coming into this offseason that I think would going to play a big factor in the Dolphins' plans. And one of probably, I would say, the biggest question marks has just been answered for the Miami Dolphins. Let's get into the article and then we can talk about it on the other side. This, of course, is from over on CBS Sports. It says, Teron Armstead said after the 2023 NFL season that he would take his time to decide whether to return for another year. Now, the Miami Dolphins left tackle is expected to forego retirement, according to the Miami Herald, and come back for his age 33 campaign. That's a weird way to say that, but the Dolphins are entering a critical season for quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, who's approaching the final year of his rookie contract, so it stands to reason they would welcome Armstead back. Now, Nick, I think this is a huge move for the Dolphins. Not really a move they're making, but a move in their favor as far as Armstead coming back. He is one of the better offensive tackles in the league, and I think the team is always just going to be better when he is on the field. I'm curious what your thoughts are and what this means for the Dolphins overall, but Dolphins fans, let us know in the comment section below. Of all the players on this roster, there's a lot of moves going on. I know there's questions about Jalen Waddle. There were questions about Armstead. Who is the player that you want to keep the most on this roster going into this offseason? Let us know in the comment section below. But Nick, what are your thoughts on this latest news for the Dolphins?
Oh, this is absolutely massive. This is probably the best news Miami could get at this time of the year for a number of reasons. First and foremost, Armstead is still an elite player. You look at his performance on the field, whether it's eye test or whether it's PFF grades, he's among the best pass blocking, best overall offensive lineman in the entire NFL. This is a guy, obviously, he's getting up there in age a little bit. He's had some injury concerns, but when healthy, he is still very, very, very good. And he is a critical part of this offensive line going forward. If he was going to retire, that would also open up a real issue for Miami to address this offseason, along with all the other issues they have to address. So it kind of solved two big problems there for Miami, where one, they got a good player back on their football team, which is obviously always very good. And number two, they don't have to worry about replacing this player, which they would have had to do if he left and find another tackle. And that leads directly into my third key point here is that the Dolphins are in a very bad salary cap situation. That's just the reality of it. Right now, they're a little less than 52 million over the salary cap. So they're going to have to make some big moves, some cuts, some restructurings. There's going to have to be a lot of decisions to be made there. And here's the other element. If Armstead would have retired right now, Armstead's cap number is about 20 million. If he would have retired, that number would have gone up to a little over 24 million. So that would have been another $4 million the Miami Dolphins would have had to use to get under the cap. Another player they would have cut, another veteran player that they wouldn't be able to sign. Whatever it is, it would have hurt the Dolphins potentially adding to their roster, either having a good player leave or not being able to add a veteran player in certain area of weakness. Again, Armstead staying gives them that flexibility once they get under the cap. And of course, the big question is Tua going to be ready to take that next step and then eventually get his big deal? And I think we know Tua's good. I think we know that offense, when it's clicking and when the team's healthy, they're among the best in the AFC. I mean, that's the reality of it. I know people looked at how they finished the season, but honestly, they outplayed a lot of people. I thought they should have beaten the Buffalo Bills the final game of the regular season. They beat the Dallas Cowboys, a 12-win team in their own right. They went toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs. If it weren't for that Hill fumble, I think they beat the Kansas City Chiefs during the regular season. This is a good football team. When healthy by the end of the year, they were just devastated by injuries. If they can stay healthy and be healthy throughout the regular season, I think they have a chance to seriously contend in the AFC. And being just the complete team, the way this team was designed around Tua, will allow the Dolphins to finally evaluate how good he is. Because when it comes to signing your quarterback, obviously they're going to sign him. It's going to be all about the number. Is he going to be, market resetting 60 million a year? Is he just going to be Lamar Jackson numbers? Is he going to be less than Lamar Jackson, 40 million a year? Whatever it is, it's all about figuring out what that number is going to be. And the best way to evaluate Tua is if he's completely healthy around him with his skill set. And I think Armstead being the fold is yet another positive because it helps the Dolphins make that evaluation.
Yeah, Nick, and you talk about, what this does for the team. We talk about Armstead, and most notably, you brought up Tua. Tua is the guy that benefits the most from this. And I think one thing I want to address is something that we see, especially in the comments, talking about Tua all the time. People are like, well, we need to get Tua out of here. We'll never win with Tua. Tua's a very good quarterback. Obviously, he had the most passing yards in the NFL last season. He had a very high 90.2 PFF grade in his passing, grade. I think Tua is a really great option for the Miami Dolphins. Is like you said, it's all about what price you can get him for. I think getting you into the playoffs, giving you like a really good playoff push. That's really good. Keeping Armstead here is going to be big for him as well. But the hate towards Tua, you could have Desmond Ritter, you could have Mac Jones, you could have Kenny Pickett. I would take Tua every day of the week over most of the guys in the NFL or anyone you could potentially take a chance on as well for the draft. So I think this is great for the Dolphins as far as Armstead. He's going to boost Tua in a contract year. You expect him to have the best year of his career. And last season, he also proved he got over those injury concerns as far as Tua as well. Hopefully, Armstead can do the same thing. I think things are looking up for the Dolphins. They just got to take a step back and look at the totality of the circumstances for this team.
Yeah, and again, like you kind of alluded to, we're starting to see some hate for Tua in the comments and engagement on social media and things like that, which is really strange because if you look at his numbers and his performance, he's off the charts, like you said, led the NFL in passing yards this past season. In 2022, he led the NFL in yards per attempt and passer rating. So again, this is a guy who is, when he's has a healthy team around him, is among statistically the best in football. Is he stylistically the same as Josh Allen or Mahomes? No. Is he stylistically the same as Lamar Jackson? No, but let's be honest here. When he's got a good team around him, he is as good, as productive as any of those guys. And we've seen that at times, I should say, over the past 2 seasons. Again, a healthy, complete Miami Dolphins roster is among the AFC's elite. They are a real Super Bowl team. They're in the middle of a Super Bowl window. They just need to make sure they get all the pieces intact and stay healthy, and getting Armstead back in the fold and not retiring will help them achieve that goal.